I think the biggest need right now in our church is young people, and young people with a desire for the message, with a love for the message. And we can only give them that if we have that ourselves. You know, when we are able to take these youth and these young people into a place where they can recognize that, man, life is not all about games and hanging out with your friends and movies, whatever it is. Life is not about that. You know, it gives you this false sense of security, this like false reality of what's actually happening in the world, and that in reality, the world is crumbling to the ground. And we need our youth to see that and to recognize that we don't need to be a part of that, but we can be there and to bring the message and the hope that we have, that this will all be over.
What would the leadership program offer? It would offer the ability to be steered towards looking at and understanding and having an experience in Christ being the power and efficiency of the whole program. And what I mean is this: when we go on response, we go with very minimal resources, very minimal power to do it. And that is a real blessing of opportunity to put the youth in a position where they don't have what it takes to make it work. They don't have the connections, the resources. And the question that they're going to come immediately to God with is, Lord, are you going to make this work? Instead of them asking, how is Gideon Rescue going to make this work? They're going to ask, how is God going to make this work? In addition to not having a middleman between the students and God, it would also offer the ability to put it out there in terms of boldness. So much these days we have the safety first mentality, which means that everything has to be so safe that we're not willing to risk anything for God. And that's not licensed to be irresponsible or presumptuous, but God would have us develop and produce even more Davids, more giant slayers, more youth that could look at the circumstances, look at the scene of battle of the great controversy and say, I believe the Lord has a victory here if we cooperate with Him. And how can we get there? Curriculum sources for our leadership program. The Bible is, of course, the foundation of all real education. And so everything that we're going to be sourcing from is the Bible. We'll be doing personal Bible studies with Bible interests in the area because the personal Bible study is an irreplaceable unit for the plan of salvation. A lot of it is how to learn to overcome adversity and work together as a team doing it. So we are going to learn practical skills such as swiftwater rescue, rope rescue, canine search and rescue, EMT basic for the medical, and we'll actually be responding to real life disasters. We're going to respond with them as a team, and then they'll have a chance to step out, try their sea legs, and do a response without us. That'll start out easy, probably a response in the United States, spread their wings a little bit, and then level it up from there. A bigger disaster, maybe like a hurricane or a big wildfire in the United States. And then we'll take it international. So the goal of the program is to produce leaders who can then start other replica models of Gideon Rescue that are independently capable because God is their power and efficiency. Not the minds of Gideon Rescue, God is their power to make it happen. And so how to help them connect with God, work with God, get real experience in faith, and so they can say, yeah, maybe I don't have all the resources at hand right now, but I could see a way forward. They can see that cloud like Elijah saw in the distance and say, it's going to rain. Let's make some moves. Commitment is one of the most important character attributes needed for success. And so from the start, before you even get into the real leadership program, we have the Shepherd's Boy program, which is a time specifically designed to test your perseverance and your courage and your commitment. And of course, when it tests it, it develops it at the same time. And what that is for is to see who is the program right for. Too much we're concerned about if our skills are up to the task. We should be more concerned about, am I really committed? Because as long as we're engaged with God, as long as we are saying, Lord, you're in charge, that's the recipe for success. But I believe that too much our youth walk out of the church because we haven't given them the respect of responsibility. I mean, we don't believe in them enough to give them jobs that really matter and that bear some weight of responsibility. When we do, we find that they rise to the occasion. They appreciate being trusted enough to handle things of real importance.
In some ways, it sounds kind of corny. You know, you tell a young person, oh, come to the disaster zone and tell people about Jesus. You know, and they're like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I was me. You know, they're like, oh, I remember watching Brock and Kory just like blanket the whole place with glow tracks. I'm like, man, this just isn't for me. Like, I'm here to do the cool stuff. And it really didn't have a big effect on me until the one moment I saw somebody in that spiritual golden hour, and I reached into my pocket and I was like, I have a glow track, I'll hand one out. And I as I walked up to him, he looked at me with tears in his eyes and he says, what in the world is happening? And this was a Hurricane Florence in North Carolina. And I reached into my pocket and I pulled out a track and I looked at the front of it, and it said, the question on there said, what in the world is happening? And I was like, man, this is it. And I just gave it to him and he just lit up and he gave me this big hug. And from that moment, I was like, man, what have I been making fun of? This is the greatest thing in the world. You know, when you can be a tool that God can use in a place where people are hurting. You know, and that's what our young people need. They need to recognize that we really aren't that great. But with God, man, he can blow open the doors like we would never imagine. You know, and if our young people could recognize that and see that the hour in which we live is so of utmost importance, that the whole universe is watching to see what they will do with their time, and that they will be rewarded for their time used and unused. You know, how should we spend our time? Should we spend it in front of the TV? Should we spend it out on the basketball court or the baseball field? Should we spend it, you know, at our friend's house playing video games? Or should we spend it pouring ourselves out to others with the little bit that we have and watch God explode it into an enormous amount like the loaves and the fishes? And that is life-changing. And that will bring our youth into the church if we will give them a cause to fight for and a cause to die for. We'll finish this work and we'll go home. And that's what we need. We need young people that are willing to just test God on this and say, Lord, what would you have me do? I'm willing to do anything. Send me.